What if your coding assistant can understand your project structure, documentation, and framework details as your senior teammate? I tried Windsurf for weeks, and let's just say I might not go back to Visual Studio Code. Hey everyone, it's Alex here from Tech World with Alex, and today we are doing dive deep into the Windsurf IDE. And for those who don't know what is Windsurf IDE, I hope you know. It's next-gen coding environment built for AI assistant. So in this video, I'll show you how to make some per-setup pre-configuration. Also, we will go through all the UI elements, and I will share my personal opinion of what is a really, really meaningful thing with day-to-day activities as a developer. So also, I will show you how to configure your project prompts or workspace prompt or global prompts, and also how to extend the functionality and power of your AI agent and AI assistant with an MCP. As a last point, I will show you the main MCPs that I'm usually using as a pre-configuration for all my projects. Especially we will dive deep into the Context7, and we'll finish this video with a small demo how to develop web API with the use of FastAPI and just coding assistant, and almost zero knowledge with how this code actually works. Let's dive in. Let's go first to the Windsurf page and review what is the plans for the Windsurf. Yeah, so for free we can get 2 weeks for pro trial, just to check what we can get with the pro, like with a paid subscription. And it will include 25 prompts, and I would say it's pretty much okay for testing. Yeah, they just calculated with for one, but this is the cheapest one that we can use with the Windsurf. With the Pro, we can get 500 prompts, which is really nice, and we can get even more if we need more of them for $10 per 250 credits. In my Windsurf, I have a free plan, and my expiration for the Pro already done, so I don't have any Pro feature activated right now. So it's totally free subscription, what is right now what Windsurf can propose for you. And with this, let's go and overview the elements on this Windsurf. Open and start first with the most interesting things. It's Cascade. This Cascade is kind of ChatGPT built into Windsurf, but with some extra features. So first, let's go from this configuration or these tabs on the Windsurf. So we have this plus. This is for starting to start a new conversation. This is a history, this button with clocks and arrow around it. So, and then plugins, it's actually MCP servers. And if someone don't know what is MCP server, I will attach some video somewhere in the top. Then we have some customization, and we have additional functionality, and we can close this cascade just to not seeing and if we don't need to use it. So let's start with the plugins because this is the only one that is activated right now. So let's go to plugins. Yeah, plugins, it's actually MCP servers. Yeah, let's start from this Anthropic sites. Yeah, so they have documentation, and we can go and just read about the MCPs. MCP is Model Context Protocol, which is designed to add more power to AI assistant. And this is actually the best explanation I ever read about this MCP. So just think about MCP like a USB-C port to AI application. So that the same like you have in your laptop. So you just attach any new tool, your phone, your, I don't know, your watch to charge, or any other tools like painting things for designer, just to extend the functionality of your laptop. And in this way, our laptop is our AI application. So this is pretty cool. I will attach this link to the description later. You can get it. But let's go back to Windsurf, yeah? So this is something that we want to install, and actually we will do this, but a little bit later. So then let's go to this customization thing, and this customization tab actually exists from 3 different tabs. And first tab rule, it it contains pre-built prompts that you don't want to repeat every time when you have any conversation with the AI assistant. So we just defined some rules that we want that AI assistant follow each time when we have a conversation with him. Okay, so and usually these global rules should contain some things that related to each project you are developing. UV part is not really related to all projects. So this is related mostly to the Python things and all Python projects. So let's cut it out from here. And so now we have this global rules modified. Let's save it. And another things, we have this workspace rule, yeah, for example, and we want to apply some Python UV rules, yeah. Yeah, so and now we can just put our rules here regarding the UV and say apply it all the time when we ask our AI about something. But this also can be adjusted and just switch to model decision. So it means that model will decide when to use these rules, and we can specify some description. So our AI assistant will understand actually how to use these rules. Yeah. So we can put this is rules how to manage Python packages with the use of UV and how to run packages. Okay, and just hit save. So now when we refresh, we'll see that we have two rules on the right. One is global rule and one is project rule. So this is cool. Now let's go to the workflows. Workflows is something like instruction for the AI assistant to do some steps to decrease your routine work, I would say. So let's try and create some, for example, unit test unit tests create workflow, yeah? So this workflow also consists from description and content. So in description, we just put steps to create a unit test, yeah? And here we just put like something simple, create unit tests for new code, run unit test, fix failed if any, and run tests again. And we can copy this instruction actually for a few times. I don't want to have it like infinite repeat just to control it, for example, for 3 times, because sometimes AI can just stuck with fixing and actually do nothing meaningful. And we have to control it. Last step will be done. So it will repeat this step 3 times, test, fix them. If no, just try again, hit save, hit refresh, and now we see this workflow is here. And also I want to mention that we have this Windsurf things under our project folder. So we have this .windsurf like hidden folder by default, and it contains rules and workflows. And as you can see, we can add as many workflows, as many rules as we want for this project. It's pretty much cool things because you also can share this and all team can use it. So, and let's go to memory. So we also, this is something that you can store and share between the workspaces, between the I don't know, between the conversations. Yeah. So if you want to share some context of one conversation to another, so not to start from scratch. Yeah. So to do this, we have to go and start at least one conversation. Yeah. With the current workspace, we have no conversation at all. So we need to start some conversation. And let's say that we want to build an FastAPI app with 2 endpoints to get current folder files list and another want to get a list of files of specified folder, and we can provide some additional context. So for both endpoint, we want to use get method and I don't know, for example, protect it with simple authentication, simple token. Yeah. I will stop recording right now and just come back when it's done. Okay, it's done. It created some basic folder structure, but still it didn't make actually everything fine as it was expected. So it actually don't use UV to store the requirements. Probably we need to adjust the workspace rule, but let's see what we have. So for now, we can save this as a memory. So we can even ask AI assistant to do this without going to the settings. So let's say save as a memory. And then it's going to do this for us with some auto-generated name for the memory. So as you can see, its auto-generated memory was updated. FastAPI app with getting points and barrier token protected May 2025. Good. Let's click on the manage, and now we can see and go to memory. We see two memories. One is from the one of my previous example, and this one is just created recently. So, and later we can just use this memory inside our application just with the name. So this is pretty cool. Let's go to other tab. So customization, we are done. Let's go to plugins. Plugins is actually our MCP servers. This actually the list of the plugins that and the MCP servers that Windsurf take from the open source repository. Yeah, so we can click here, for example, on memory and click install, and we will get this memory MCPs that will help us to persist some of the things that we already did inside our local memory. Yeah, MCP I usually use. This is this sequential syncing. We can just upload it, click on upload, save, and then we don't need any configuration. So let's go quick through this MCP server configuration. You can enable and disable it in any time. For now it's enabled, but it also has some short description what actually this MCP server help us with. And then about, it's actually some README from the Git repository. And we have configuration. If there is anything that we need, provide extra some API keys or pass to the folder or something else. And then we have this tool that actually this MCP server provide to us. And the short description, actually not really short, but description about the tool, what is actually this tool doing for us. Yeah. So let's also go to Git, for example, and install Git 2, just to give an access for our AI assistant to Git commands. So this MCP server, as you can see, provide us a bunch of useful commands that this AI system will be able to use. It does not require any configuration because it's just do all the stuff on our local Git. Most of the time, I'm also using this Brave search just to expand our functionality about this web search, but this is actually requires some API key. You have to go to the Brave. You can click on this Brave API key link here. Just go to the Brave, sign up, and it's easy to get an API key. It's for free, and you don't need to pay anything for that. Let's just fake it for now. So click Save, and now we see it's also installed. Okay. Another thing that also probably would be nice to get this GitHub, for example, yeah. And this is also something that we need to provide a personal access token. You can generate it on your GitHub account and just provide it here, but we can just fake it for now, save it. So now we have a bunch of servers installed. And if we go to the cascade, to the history, for example, we go to the past conversation history, now we see that we have 4 available MCP servers in our arsenal. So And the most powerful one is the GitHub MCP server that bring us 36 extra tools. Okay, another really cool MCP server that I'm usually have in my arsenal because it kind of bring a lot of good things for me. You just go to raw implementation here, go to this amazing site which calls Context7. So Context7 is aggregator of RAG storage for all the technical documentation, and it's crazy how many items they actually have. They have like 10,000, almost 11,000 items in the database. So this is pretty cool. So we can go to this MCP server. Yeah, let's go to this. So they have the repo here. We can scroll down and you can see how we can integrate this Context7 to our Windsurf. Okay, install with the Windsurf. We can copy these things and just go to our Windsurf and just go somewhere here, column, and get this. Okay, and now if we refresh, we will see Context7 if everything goes good. Okay, and this Context7 actually bring to us just two tools. Resolve library ID. It helps us to get any kind of name of the library, and this get library docs, it actually help us to get all the documentation based on the library IDs that we resolved with the use of the first tool. This is pretty cool. So just to show you how it works, let's, for example, first remove this Context7 and see how our AI assistant behave without it, just to see it in comparison how it works. Do you know something about, for example, Pydantic AI? Okay, and let's say Pydantic library called Pydantic AI. It is possible you mean Pydantic, blah, 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 but this is not really correct. So let's go and bring back the Context7. Can you bring documentation about Pydantic AI? It's just doing something. Okay, now we see that it use Context7 Resolve library tool to get the Pydantic AI documentation, and actually got it, and it's loaded it. So now we have our Pydantic AI documentation installed. And if we ask the same question, do you know what is Pydantic AI? It should be able to answer actually based on the documentation that it actually choose. Okay, now let's say, yes, I know what is Pydantic AI, and just bring us some text. Okay, this is pretty cool. This RAG aggregator Context7 can bring us a lot of really, really nice tool, and the fresh documentation. Biggest drawback is that they collect mostly the latest documentation about the frameworks. And another thing that I want to mention, that they say that they actually open source, and if we actually to GitHub repository, we actually see that they have GitHub and you can do something around it. But if you go down deeper to the implementation, yeah, let's go to the API and see. So they have this search library and they have this fetch library documentation. This is two tools that we actually see inside this Context7 MCP server. But the main thing is that they don't actually have any logic here. So they just expose or just request some private API. So probably right now it's still open source, but at some point you will pay some money for using that. But yeah, later I will show you how to actually build something like Context7, but only for your necessary documentation that you need right now to use. Now let's ask, can you run our application? Just without any knowledge, like how this FastAPI actually works. Okay, let's accept and let's see how it goes. Okay, now it's a PyEnv unicorn not found. Okay, it seems like something went wrong. Okay. Can you use UV for package management and run fast API with a use of UV? It's really strange why it's not working with probably it's not taking actually UV things from the workspace configuration rule. Let's go and switch it back to always on, because it seems like it's not actually taking all the rules. Okay, let's go down. Let's see, accept UV pip install, no virtual and fine. Okay, now we say UV, okay, by end UV current not found. Package installation, okay. Make sure that project is ready to run. Check UV log file. If not exist, just create it and create virtual env and install all packages with a use of UV. Yeah, let's try, because I'm just save this UV workspace rules and it should be actually works properly. Okay, it's searching for UV log. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, now it's saying, okay, I want to create this virtual env, then install everything from requirements.txt, and then we will generate all these log files. It's cool, and then we'll store it also in requirements.txt. Okay, has been added. Yes, let's add it. Okay, now we see that we have virtual environment and we have some library installed and we have UV log, and unfortunately we have nothing with Python project. What is it? It's still running something. Okay, it's still, I think it's still installing. We can go and see if we open terminal, we can go to Cascade and just see what it's actually doing. Let's remove this Cascade. Okay, it installed everything, and then, okay, can you run project now? Okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see. Okay, now we have this project up and running. It looks good. Let's go to this URL, localhost, and hit enter. So we see that not found, but we can go because FastAPI has internal documentation. So we have this folder. So, and has these two endpoints with a get request with some description and how to use it. And we have some authentication that we have it here just to save our endpoints or protect our endpoints with some basic API security. It's pretty cool. So that's it for this short demo. Another thing that I want to show you is about this useful stuff about the credits. So as you see, we can choose the mode of the chat with our AI. It's write or chat. Yeah. So with write, it will have a permission to actually change your code base, and with chat, it will not actually allow to do that. So I love how they show the usage of your cascade credits, but right now you can see it only if you click on this free and upgrade. So, and as we see right now, I already used for almost 3.5 credits from 25. It's given for free. And what we are going to do right now, just upgrade our subscription just to see how it change our Windsurf UI. And now we should see the difference. Yeah. Now we see we are pro, and when we hover on it, we see exact amount of prawns which is available for us. So this is pretty cool. And add-ons credits, it's the credits that we add on the top of this 500 free for the pro subscription. So this is pretty cool. And I love it because when, for example, um, let's um, let's use by project toml to store all uh, packages. So when we try to use one time, we see that it should be updated after usage finished. So now we did one prompt. Actually, pricing model for the Windsurf is pretty simple. They just change it. So now you are paying for prompts only. So when you send the prompt or you do this prompt at once, so you don't pay for anything extra in the pipeline. So you will be charged only for one prompt. In this case, it will be 0.25 credits. So now if we hover on this, we see that other prompts, the amount decreased, and it's really nice. You can keep track on it without any extra clicking and searching your account on the web. So let's accept all the changes. It seems like it's created everything correctly. So we have now project toml, and we have everything that we need for testing and running our FastAPI. So it's pretty cool. So now, as soon as we change our subscription to the Pro, we can access some other LLM models, which is not the list that is recommended. So we can switch the list. When we click on this recommended arrow down, we see we have cost and provider. If we click on provider, we will see this Cascade base. It's some internal Windsurf as LLM that will be used without any payment for that. So we have OpenAI, and we have even more than for mini, so we can choose a lot of others. Let's try to restart the Windsurf and check if it will actually affect these models. And now if we go to the models and go to the recom providers, uh, yeah, now we have everything enabled. So we just need to restart the application to enable all these models. Yeah, so you still have an access to all conversation that you had with the Windsurf, and not only for your project. And you can switch to only your workspace, so you can just see what you've been talking about with this AI assistant only in terms of this project. And this is pretty cool. So yeah, I think that's it for now. And yeah, thank you for watching till that. To wrap up, Windsurf is a huge step forward. A local first, context rich, and built for real devs. And I would say this tool, it's not for the guys who don't know how to code. It's actually can be used as well, but for me personally, it's really nice tool to increase your productivity and just avoid using some routine job like making the documentation based on the code base, how to run everything, how to compile everything. You still need to review all that stuff that this thing generate, because sometimes it just doesn't work. And if you like this, in my next video, I will show you the brand new AI agent inside the PyCharm. And small spoiler, JetBrain is entering the game strong. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check the link below for everything we've covered. See you!